Hey there, what's up? This is KOKOStern with a biased beginning slash afterthought. I'm combining them into one sort of review and talk a little bit about the game. And the game that I want to talk about today is obviously Hearthstone. Hearthstone. Yes, Heroes of Warcraft. We'll talk about the Heroes of Warcraft part in a second. But first of all, I have to talk about TCGs in general. So this is a TCG. TCG, in case you don't know, is a trading card game. So basically you're playing with cards that you can trade. In this game, you can't trade them, at least not that I understand so far. You can't really just one trade them. Maybe you can, and I just haven't exactly seen it. But the point is, it's less about trading, it's more about collecting the cards and then playing them. So what kind of card games exist in the world? A lot. There's Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's Pokemon, if you're talking about real ones, and most importantly, there is Magic the Gathering. Okay, MTG Magic the Gathering is the biggest one there is in the entire world. It's been around for 30 years, and nothing can compete with it for the simple reason that it's been in development for 30 years. So it's huge, it has a ton of complexity, it's very interesting, and it's really a great game. And what we're talking about here specifically is online games, okay? TCGs going into online and not actual card collecting. What I liked about card games, I haven't played a ton of them. I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day, and I played Magic the Gathering when I could. What I really liked about it is the drafts. Now, a Magic draft, in case you don't know, is everybody, you get 8 people around, everybody gets booster packs. Booster packs contain 15 cards, and then everybody opens a booster pack, and then they have 15 cards, they pick one, and then they move 14 cards to the next player on their left or on the right, usually clockwise, whatever. And then that player, and you get, obviously, cards from the guy on your right, and you have 14 cards, you pick one out, and you move it along. And you continue doing that until everybody has decks. And when everybody has their full deck, then that they've built with these cards, you kind of know what other people have because you've looked at most of the cards, and then you do a tournament. The wonderful special thing about that is you have no idea what's going to happen. You don't know what cards you're going to get. In a lot of cases, unless you're some kind of complete expert, which none of us were, you pretty much open a pack, you see the biggest card there, the rare or the legendary if there's in there, if you got a legendary in the pack, a really good card, and then you just, screw it, I'll take this one and try and build around it. And that makes it so much fun. It makes for such interesting things that can happen. And that's why I really liked it. I really liked when you construct a deck and play with it, and not from the get-go up till the actual tournament, and not constructed. When I say constructed, I actually use that word, which is not a good thing. When I say constructed, I mean that you can pick out whatever card, you collect cards and you can pick out whatever and you make your own deck. And with constructed sets, with constructed decks, which is actually the play here, with constructed decks, you can basically face off against someone that has a ton of legendary crazy cards and built a perfect deck that's just exactly done something very specific. And that's what you want to aspire to, but that's one of the things that I hate about trading card games. Because it never really gets there, but it feels so mechanical. When you have a very specific deck that does something very specific, then it feels cheap to me. It feels mechanical in a way. You know exactly what you want to do. And I like just playing the TCG for itself, just having, you know, a kind of deck that does something, but not very strongly. And you just play with the cards, and the camaraderie and the feeling with playing with other people, that's what I really enjoyed. And that's why I never really got into online TCGs. I never really got into online TCGs because I was afraid of the constructed decks, that everybody have beautiful, insane decks and my collection will suck. And I never thought that I'll really invest into it, and those things cost money. Lately, there's always been Magic the Gathering, but it has a lot of its own problems, which we won't discuss because that's not the game we're talking about. Lately, there were 2 main games that are actually coming out. One of them is Scrolls by Notch, the person who made Minecraft, and that has gotten a lot of good reviews, but that thing costs money, and again, I don't know how much will I like to invest in such a game, so I didn't get it. Hearthstone is free to play. I don't mind playing it, and it's free to play, so I can play that. And I've gotten the beta and just started messing around with it and seeing what I actually can make here and what I can do here. So there's 2 things we want to talk about: the game itself and everything around it. First of all, let's talk about the game itself. it is actually very, very simple. I'm going into just, you know, just practice so I can do whatever I want. I can also leave the game without feeling bad about it. Let's just go to one of the normals. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Just to show you a little bit of the game itself. Hopefully it'll work, because sometimes it gets buggy. It's a beta. It still has bugs in it. Garrosh. So the game, one of the main things about it, whatever, I'll go with this. One of the main things about it is that it is very, very simple. Trading card games, in most cases, have a type of resources that you gain, and then you use cards because cards cost resources. In this game, the resource is completely, you don't even have to think about it. The resource is just there. It's the mana crystals down here, and they just ramp up. They just, every level you get another one, and you can just, until you reach 10, and cards cost a certain amount of them. You just don't even care about that. There's also obviously cards that do deal with those, but mostly there isn't. Mostly you don't really care about anything, and you just do whatever the hell you want to do. It's very simple up to the point where there's no phases. In a lot of card games, there's a specific phases. Here, there isn't really phases. You just do whatever you can, and then you end the turn, and then your opponent does whatever he can. And that's just how it works. Now, it's very simple. It's so simple, and this is one of the points of this game. One of the things that they really wanted to do is make this game incredibly simple. And the reason for that is so it can work on every platform imaginable. This is supposed to be on iOS games and Android as well. They want to have as many platforms as possible, and they want as broad appeal as possible. So they don't want high levels of complexity, because it's, well, they want everybody to play it. They want everybody to spend money on it. It's free to play, but you can obviously spend money to get more cards and stuff like that. So the complexity level is what scares me. I think I'll get bored of it very quickly. But it's fun. It's fun. It's still very fun, and you still play, and then you just kind of continue playing, and the matches. Another thing here is that the decks, each deck has exactly 30 cards. And ow. Okay. It has exactly 30 cards. And that means that it's pretty short game. Because 30 cards is not a lot. Most other TCGs, you could go between 40 and 60. This has exactly 30 cards, and that's it. It's a very short amount. There isn't a lot of complexity around it, and it's a pretty simple game to understand. Now, let's do this, and let's also summon this, and let's also summon this, and heal myself, because I can, and then attack him directly. So, I'm kind of half playing and half, I'm not really thinking. It's a stupid AI, so I should be able to beat him unless I lose horribly, which could also happen, you know, anything can happen. So, it's a very simple game, but it's really nice. It kind of draws you in, and then you just keep on playing. And the matches are very short. They could be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, super long matches, maybe 15, but you never reach there. It's somewhere between 5 and 10. It's very short matches. It's fun to play, and you just keep on doing it. There isn't, I find myself, the problem is that I really find myself playing like 2-3 matches, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm just kind of done. If I lose in a really stupid way, or if I really demolish someone, then maybe you want to play a little bit more, but I don't find myself playing this for hours. I find myself saying, yeah, that's fun, it was fun, let's move on. And that, I don't really know what to make of that. I really don't know what to make of that, in that sense. That was not the smartest thing in the world. But, whatever. So, it's nice, it's fun to play, it's easy to understand. There is some depth in it, there's obviously a lot of things, there isn't too much. There isn't a huge abundance of cards. At least I haven't reached a huge abundance of cards yet. Mostly because I'm really just with the basic cards and stuff like that. But the game is fun. It's overall fun, and it's easy to play and understand and get into. Now I want to concede here so that I can show you the menus a little bit. And reminding you, it's a beta. So there isn't a lot. It's still in beta. But there are a couple of things that are very evident here. The first thing is that if you go into the options menu, you don't have a lot of options at all. That's okay, but that's like very, very minimal options, and you'd always want some more. But that's fine, it's beta. We'll ignore it. The main three game modes is Play, Practice, and Arena. Practice is against AIs. AIs are pretty damn bad, and you can defeat even the expert ones. You saw that there was normal and expert ones with the basic decks. Now, there are 9... Let's go to my collection just so I can show you if I want to create a new deck. There are 9 classes, and the differences between each class is that they have a specific power. As an example, the Warrior's power is Hero Power Gain 2 Armor, and the Priest power is Hero Power Restore 2 Health. All these powers cost 2 mana, so it does cost mana, and they do something. And there are 9 classes that each one can do something a little bit different, so it's kind of nice in that you can choose whomever you want. But the main part about the classes is actually the cards. There are cards for everyone, which are neutral. You can put in any deck, and there are the class-specific cards that can only go in a deck of that specific class. And these are obviously do something that has to do, there's a little bit of theme, but there isn't enough theme, I feel. I feel most of the classes are kind of the same, in a way that everyone has the main things that you'd expect in TCG. Everyone has removal. Removal means just removing something. Everyone has direct damage. Everyone has a weapon here and there. There's also weapons you can give to your hero. Your hero has 30 HP, and if it goes to 0, you die. You can give him a weapon so he can attack as well. Everyone has a little bit of everything, so there isn't really too much, specific things, and you can kind of do everything with everyone. There are classes that are better with one thing or another, but it doesn't feel enough special to me. Again, I haven't played this a ton, so I might be totally wrong, but I've seen everything done to me from the games that I have played. And you there's a finite amount of cards, obviously, and you start off at level 1, and as you level up, you unlock more basic cards until about level 10, and then at level 15 and stuff like that, and level 20, you can go all the way up to level 60, World of Warcraft, anyone? And it's just, I don't know, I haven't really felt the progression here, or the unlocking of anything. You have play, which you play constructed. You just build your own deck with whatever, and you're matched with someone who's supposed to be equal to you. And if you win a couple of matches, you get some gold. Practice is what we said, practice. And then there's the arena. Now, the arena, you need to pay either real money, screw you, Blizzard, or 150 gold. It's really hard to get gold if you don't play in the arena. You actually have to win a couple of matches in the arena properly in order to get your gold back refunded in a way. And that could be an issue. Could really be an issue, because if you just kind of get, especially if you're a beginner and you get a crappy deck, then if you lose, the arena you can win up to 9 matches, or you can, you get thrown out if you lose 3 matches. And the prize that you get at the end is equivalent to how much you won, basically. And according to what I understand, you need to win about between 3 and 5. The more the better, in order to really get your return of investment. Usually around 4 or 5 to get your return of investment. And if not, you basically can't get anything. You have daily challenges, which give you like 30 or 40 gold if you do something very specific, and you can just do play. If you win 3 matches in play, you get 10 gold, which means you need a ton to get 150 to get into arena. And that's kind of annoying, because arena is actually the best mode here. Arena gives you, I don't mind actually doing it right now because I was going to do it eventually. I pay 150 gold, purchase complete, and then you need to pick one of 3 heroes that they give you. I'm going to pick Thrall the Shaman because I like him the most. You just choose him, and then you get to pick between 3 cards. You pick one of those cards, and it goes in your deck, and it's in your deck. You can't go back on your decision, and then get another 3 cards and you pick another one, and you repeat this process 30 times until your deck is full with 30 cards, and then you play other people who have done exactly the same process. This is really nice because it has nothing to do with what cards you have. You can get every card here. You can get rare cards, legendary cards, whatever. It's supposed to be very balanced. Obviously, we don't know how balanced it is. It's up to Blizzard to balance it out before the game is released, but it seems pretty nice, and you just make your own deck with whatever cards you get, and then you get to play it. And this is something that I actually really like, because it takes away, it has that element of drafting like I talked about earlier with the Magic drafts that I did as a kid. So this is actually the best mode. I don't like the fact that I have to pay for it. It's kind of horrible, and if I don't do well once, then I'm kind of screwed. I need to ramp up my gold, and that could be problematic. So it's kind of, I don't understand why there's this gold limit in order to get in here. And, or, you know what, if there's a gold, why is it so high? Why does the return of investment need to be like 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 matches in order to return the investment? And that's something that I really dislike around everything around the game itself. So I can actually do back here, and when I go back into the race, I already paid for it, so it's not stupid. It will get me back into where I was. So I'm not going to lose anything. Hearthstone overall, so far, is kind of nice. Mainly, the main thing that irks me the most is the fact that it's Heroes of Warcraft, and I've been a Blizzard fan since they were Silicon Synapses and released wonderful games that weren't about the 3 franchises that they've been using for a million years, for 15 years actually. And I'd like to see something new, Blizzard. I mean, seriously, make something new. And they decided to just go with Warcraft on this one because it's easy, because it's there. And that's the one thing. It'll ramp up a little bit more if it wasn't Warcraft, because there's no reason to be Warcraft. You could do something new. But they decided to go Warcraft again, but whatever, we'll put that aside and play the game for what it is. It's fun. I think that I'm going to enjoy the game the most until it gets released. Once it gets released, we're going to see a lot of people who just go into the store. And what you can do right now is buy a pack for 100 gold or buy more packs for money! Yay! Each pack has 5 cards. One of them has to be rare or more than that, and they could be neutral cards or class-specific cards. We're just gonna see people press this button a couple of times, get crap ton of cards, make perfect decks, press play, and be annoying. And I'm gonna enjoy Arena the most when people aren't exactly know very much specifically what they do. There is obviously a big community now that knows exactly what it's doing, has very specific decks. The best deck right now is that with those very specific cards. There's a very finite amount of cards, and I hope I never fight against those people in Arena or in play, because those people are horrible and I don't want to play against them. I want to play against idiots who have no idea what they're doing and kind of just winging it and having fun with the game, which is what I'm trying to do. I think I'll enjoy the game the most up until it gets released, and then there's a surge of a lot of people, and then I'll probably stop playing it, which sounds kind of horrible, but that's what I think of Hearthstone so far. It's fun if you can get a beta. It's free to play, so that's the main thing about it. It's free to play. If you get a beta key, play it. I was lucky enough to have friends that got beta keys and gave me one, and that's Hearthstone. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go and play my Arena, make a stupid shaman deck, lose 3 times in a row, feel bad, and never play this game again. Thank you for watching. Hope this has been enjoyable or educational in a way, and I will see you guys next time.